design. What we've done is wrap around the community system around the domain name infrastructure and think that that's the synergy of creating more value in your domain name. Here's how simple it is. At a site, we have multiple frameworks. We have 16 frameworks right now. If you want to do PPC, you want to do a community page, WordPress website, surveys, directories, examples. Do subdomains. This is the simple. You put the subdomains or the domain name in there, your categories, your keywords, your taglines, publish it. You'll see the screenshot of your website. This is where you can kind of manage it. So we basically just created a website right there. And this is where the juice is at. Pretty much you can come in here and customize all your sites in here with HTTP and hosting. So we give you access in your FTP file. So if you want to outsource this to another developer, you can get access to just that particular domain name. We also have the integrated features, the PayPal, web trackers, community stats, various revenue blocks. We think each domain name should have its own revenue stream. You'll determine that after you start running your user profiles. Manage social sites. This is just a typical example of what you will see in your domain management console. What categories, general information. I'm going to rip through this really quick. It's a pretty powerful system. In here, we think every domain site gets a badge. So every time you create a site right there, we wrap the community framework around that domain name. Each website has a badge. Now you can start publishing it to your social media sites. You automatically have a newsletter, so you're going to start getting momentum in your domain. It's not repeat. We want repeat traffic. So if Fashion Design gets 3,000 people a month, I have 0 profiles at the end of that month. I know how many people, how much revenue I made. It doesn't create a lot of value. What we've done is create a system that creates value within those one-hanging fruits, those domains. Promotional tools, very dynamic. We're going to go in here. Here's your API. Each domain name should have its own revenue stream. Whether it's PPC, whether it's commission junction, banner ads, survey selling, it's a flexible framework where you bring this in and you bring the EPP codes in here. Facebook, this is where you want to start linking in your social sites. These other platforms are very dynamic, very big. Got to get tapped into these. So it's basically taking the domain name, drop shipping in your other social media sites, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We have all of them integrated in there. Just put the main ones in there. Very simple. Micro news, how do you manage thousands of websites? Pretty much you'll go in here. If thousands of websites to micro news, how do you keep the content active? Now what we've done in here is you can pretty much post it in here, post a string, post it right to your website. I'll show you later how to do that. Link network, that's the other key. We sell links on our domain names. Link value, everybody knows link farms, link value. We're a community here. Certain domain names have certain values. We sell links. Some of our sites for $1, some of them for $10. Just creating a link value within targeted domain names increases your SEO value and your revenue streams. Link network is integrated into the proper domain builder. Support, we're here to support you. You gotta have support, bottom line. Any company needs to have good support. Here's a cool tool. If you have thousands of names, let's say I have 200 survey names. The only way for me to build my 200 survey names pretty quickly is we have an interface here where you can put your name, put your type, put the framework you want. So I choose, let's say, survey framework at the type. Type in my keywords, those are your meta tags. Those are where we pull our feeds from, your tagline categories, and you publish it right away, and you publish 100 at the same time based on that framework. Then you can come in here and manage these sites in your micro news. Basically on the right with a micro news poster, you click what you want, post a stream, that posts that on your website. You can post either 1, hundreds, thousands at the same time. You want to be engaging, keep that stuff content fresh, and get it really quick, really simple to the interface. Live Rep, now we just integrated this. This is like I said, beta 1. Those sites that have 1 to 5 to 100 users a day, you need to engage them. The only way to really create value in domain names, when you have 1 to 5 users a day, you have to be able to touch them when they want to be touched. Live Rep is an interface where you can basically drop ship in out of your framework and manage hundreds or thousands at a time. One rep can manage thousands of websites that have 1 to 2 uniques a day. That's the interactivity tool you need to have. Message boards, we know a lot of domainers are lazy and never want to develop in domains. What we've created here is a development tool integrated in there. So if you want to shop out your domain development, you can shop it out and post it to the staff message board. So if I want somebody to manage my 1,000 survey sites, I can bid that out in my development network. Here's an example of a site we recently created in 2 minutes. Drugsurvey.com, bought the name for $1,600. Now I basically created the website in 5 minutes, created some surveys, put the framework out, start getting members underneath there. And now we have 100 members. We sell our surveys between $300 and $500 to the healthcare provider, and we actually have a website that looks like a website, acts like a website, it interacts with our customers. So basically our 1,600 domain name went to 5,000. Now when we start generating revenue at the end of the month, when I have 1,000 members and serving 100 surveys, my value went up right away, and I built that in 5 minutes. We're pulling the meta tags in there. When we built the site earlier, you'll see the micro news, the meta tags, we pull these in there, various aspects. Our badges is in there, preset badge. You want to get that out, so if we want to post that into our blogs, into our social sites, we have the badge there. We want your users into your websites being communicated, returning to your websites. Let the users build your website, basically. There's another one, wireless forum. We have 500 forum names. PPC, name 0. Within this, we drop ship our 500 names in there, customize it later on, and drop it in the customizable form framework. We think the custom verticals are the direction we're going to go. We're building custom verticals out. Another share about a shopping app. That's another example of a site that was built there within an hour. Forum, we built that in 2 minutes. And then, like I said, we're engaging our user, and we're getting them into the network for repeat traffic. And that is Rapid Domain Builder, phase 1. We have free shirts available for anybody that wants them in there.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. So Douglas, go ahead and start. Domain development is clearly a really big trend in the domain industry. Some domain owners could have tens of thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands of domains that they're looking for alternative forms of monetization. Do you feel that a product like this helps address that trend?
Yeah, I guess I have 2 questions. Just one on barriers to entry, and then the second one on scalability. So is this fully, on the second point, is this fully automated so that your team doesn't have to spend much time with final testing and making sure it's ready to go?
Yeah, it's a semi-automated system. If you want it automated, you can get up there and build in literally 3 seconds. If you want to come back into the social tools, and you want to customize that, then you can come in here, basically in the social tool panel, and start customizing. You want to have a custom logo, you want to customize it pretty much on the left side. This is where we're going to continue building in the more features and functions into the left side. So if you want to change your content, manage your social sites, so the flexibility is really in there. So if you want to really create them, and you want to create them in mass production within that framework, you're going to pretty much get that particular framework. If you want to come in there and customize it, you come in here to the management interface and basically pick your name. So we're going to pick your name. And here you'll see where you have your domain category. So I can pick on survey, find my domain name, click on manage tab, and start customizing it. Below there, what you don't really see is you see your community stats, how many members have joined, how many page views. What's also integrated here is called domain points. Every time a user posts a survey, every time they post a picture, after they post a blog, we're tracking that and we're giving them domain points. So at the end of the day, we really want to contribute and benefit to our customer base and who is contributing to our site. And that's what we're tracking with domain points. So we're continually adding in little features and functions there into the framework that you can pick and choose when you want and where you want to use them.
I think the way I heard a question was, what do you have to do once the customer has done? It sounds like you don't have to do a lot of your team. The customer has a lot of options what they can do. But once the customer has built the page, your role is largely done. Is that true?
Yeah, it really depends on what you want to do. What we do is with the statistical.
You and your team don't have to do anything once the customer.
No, but there's the development. If you see the central staffing in there, staffing dashboard, join developers and staff. We really think the development community needs to get into the domain industry or contribute. So we need to start. We're trying to bring that phase together because these domains need to go in. They're assets. They're valuable assets. They're profiling systems.
Yeah.
And so the only what PPC is great. Great product for some domain names. The other domain names, the other 80% of us need to be moving those into a development platform. But we think we have a flexible platform that works with a lot. So we have new frameworks coming online now, directories, and the winning framework is going to win out. So for instance, our survey framework, it's very effective right now. We're going to continue working that channel, and we're going to verticalize all the survey names. And that's going to be happening across multiple verticals and multiple domain names.
Richard, do you have any comments?
But I want to make sure I understood the answer to the last question. Your part of it is essentially automated. If I'm a customer of yours and I come to the site, I have work to do. You made it easy for me to do that work. But in terms of your back end, you don't have a live human being sitting there watching me doing anything. It's all automated.
It's automated. It is
What
automated.
part of it is not automated?
The part of some of it is it is pretty much automated. The part that's not automated is really
Pretty
touching.
much automated is not
For instance,
automated.
the newsletter, for example, it's not going to be auto-generated. You have to generate the newsletter yourself. So when you have 1,000 members and you want to send them a newsletter in the newsletter system, you have to create that newsletter.
But you're not creating. Your business is not
If
creating.
you want to hire us, we do it.
Okay.
We'll do.
I think you've answered the question.
Yeah, we'll develop. We'll find you a developer that will do it for you.
Spend a moment and tell us what your revenue model is.
Well, our revenue model, for example, for instance, drug survey. Bought it, doesn't get much traffic. PPC, very low click-through rates. We build those profiles in our survey. We're selling our surveys now in Eli Lilly, a certain profile. So we're now able to go work with Eli Lilly, and it depends on the profile that we give them and how dynamic our survey is. So now we're generating anywhere from $3 to $100 a profile in the survey. So our revenue models, that's one. So each framework is going to take its own revenue model. Forum names need to have their own. You'll determine your own revenue stream.
What is your corporate revenue model? How do you make money?
We're charging $1 domain name, $1 framework.
There you
Thank you.
go. Question was top of mind.
Tell us about your competitive environment. I mean, the question was asked, what's the barrier to entry? That is, what prevents other folks who take a look at what you've done and say, that's pretty interesting, I'm going to do the same thing.
A lot of them haven't taken the fact that when domain owners own thousands of domain names. A lot of good systems out there that build 1 and 2 websites. How do you manage those all the time? How do you manage them all? PPC is really easy. They're going to give you statistics. They're going to tell you how many users are in there. What we built around people that own hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of domain names. So it's really built around the framework of you have to manage these once you get them into the system. A lot of the competitors only are looking at 1 name, 2 names here or there. And the system is really flexible. So when there's a really good app like WordPress, if you want to build your domain name on WordPress, you can do it all right in there. If you want to build it on Typepad, you want to build it on different things, we're integrating these frameworks to allow you to manage that particular domain name in that one particular interface.
I think most of the questions that are being directed to you are intended to probe your business model. We understand that your business model is to provide flexibility and advantageous features for your customers. But we're trying to understand your business. In other words, how you make money, how you prevent people to come in and compete directly with you. Not preventing people from competing with your customers, but people competing with your business. Those are the thrust of the questions that are being asked.
The business model is...
You're such a good businessman, you're trying to sell your customer.
When we're creating value to your domain assets, you're going to stay there. That's the bottom line. I built it because we got frustrated. There's no way I can build 14,000 domain names. But I can build one framework to manage 150 domain names. And so I'm creating value basically to your domains. If I'm not creating value, you're going to go somewhere else. The proprietary aspect of it is it's flexible, it's dynamic, it's powerful, and we're in beta 1. So what I've just showed you is beta 1. Beta 2, when we ship it down to second year, it's going to blow the industry away as far as streaming media, video files, and that aspect. So the proprietary mechanism is we have to create value. If we don't create value in our business model, you're going to go somewhere else.
Commissioner Ralph,
Thank you.
last comment.
Yeah, first of all, I'm really impressed with what you've done. As a domainer, I'm putting on my domainer hat. I want to try this system because I've got some things. When you mentioned community, when you talked about using surveys, what you've done from my point of view, and I don't know how well it works, but what you've done is you've created engagement vehicles, which to me are some of the most interesting things that as a domain developer, I would try to use to gauge the potential viability of the properties that I own without spending a lot of money, without hiring programmers. And you've kind of bridged that gap. That's the promise that this shows to me as a domain developer. A guy who owns some domains who can't program and doesn't want to hire anybody. So I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of build-out platforms. I've never seen anything that has, well, first of all, where's the kitchen sink? I mean, it's a joke, right? You got everything in here. But I think the community engagement pieces are rich and potentially very valuable because I would encourage anybody building out domains is to explore ways that you can put things on your website that get people to interact with the property so they can tell you things about what they're interested in. Things like surveys, things like a community component, a blog press or something like that. So my hat's off to you. I mean, it's impressive. The fact that you're a very, very experienced domainer, you already have an insight into what domainers need, where they should be going. So, I mean, I'm encouraged. I'm very encouraged about these.
Thanks, Ron. David?
Yeah, I just want to add a couple things. So, to echo Ron's points, yeah, I am very impressed by what you've done. I think to get me really excited about the model and what you've built, what I want to understand better is comparing different monetizations for domainers. So, what does the monetization look like today without a world where you don't have your tools? What does the monetization look like for a domainer if they use a standard content management system like WordPress on kind of a one-on-one basis? And then what is it in your toolkit that allows you to actually lift the overall monetization in a portfolio? Right. So you teased us a little bit with some tools in there, like some of the linking. But I think if you can show a massive increase in monetization for someone that has a portfolio of names, and show that monetization using your tools are much higher than if they took their portfolio and applied a standard content management solution like a WordPress on a one-off basis for each URL, then I think it's really compelling. If the monetization gap is very low, then I'm probably less excited about the model.
Yeah. Again, that's going into your framework. What your niche site has a certain value proposition. If you're attracting customers that have just are in there for free stuff, you're not going to make a lot of money. What is it? You've got to create synergy within your network. We have about 1.5 million visitors a month. I have no profiles in them, zero. What I'm allowed to do within this system is tell me what sites are picking up on the community level, and it's a red flag to say you have 1,000 new members on X domain name. So I can go in there and start addressing and getting the feedback to them and then customizing the framework within the domain, within the framework system. So really the monetization is, it's really exploration first. You want to explore what domains are doing what and what communities are doing what on your website. Then you can come in here, if you might Commission Junction might be working better on your, so you integrate your Commission Junction API feed in that domain name and you rip and roll through product sales or various. So really it's a really niche platform to focus on various verticals of your domains. So each domain, I have the 14,000 domain names, I probably have 70 different types of domain names. They all monetize usually a little bit differently. And this gives you the flexibility to come in there, analyze it, and then really build your framework around that domain name.
Okay. Chet, thank you very much. Okay, so our fourth presenter today is Luke Webster from DevForge.com.